up, choose yourself first. Listen. The first decision you make in the morning defines the direction of your entire day. The very first act, the very first thought, the very first choice, it sets the tone for everything that follows. So when you wake up and the sunlight spills gently through your curtains, when your body stirs back to life after hours of rest, and your mind is still untouched, still pure, still silent, you stand at a sacred crossroads. One road leads you back to yourself, to your breath, your purpose, your peace. The other leads straight into chaos, into noise, distraction, comparison, anxiety, and the endless scroll of someone else's life. And for most people today, the first thing they touch is not their soul, it's their phone. Their thumb slides across the screen before their feet ever touch the ground. Their eyes dive into notifications before they ever meet the morning light. And in that instant, before they've even taken their first conscious breath, they've already surrendered control of their mind. Think about that for a moment. You give away the most sacred part of your day, the very beginning, to a machine designed to keep you distracted. You hand over your peace before you've even had a chance to feel it. You let the world decide how you'll feel today, what you'll think, what you'll chase, what you'll fear. But you were never born to wake up as a slave to a screen. You were born to wake up as a creator, to rise, to feel, to breathe, to choose your own rhythm before the world starts pulling you in 1,000 directions. When you open your eyes, the first thing you should connect with is not Wi-Fi. It's your life, your pulse, your breath, the stillness that reminds you, you are alive. Before the world rushes in, before the chaos begins, before the dopamine drip of endless content takes over your attention, you have a chance to claim your morning. Because your morning is not just another piece of time. It's the foundation of your mindset. It's the ignition key to your focus. It's the soil where your discipline grows. And yet, so many people trade that sacred soil for a swamp of noise. They wake up and immediately see who texted them, who liked their photo, what the news says, what someone else achieved. And before they've even brushed their teeth, they've already told their subconscious that everyone else's life matters more than their own. But what if you stopped doing that? What if, for just 1 week, you decided to choose yourself first? What if you woke up and instead of grabbing your phone, you placed your hand on your heart? What if you stood in silence for 60 seconds and asked, what kind of person do I want to be today? That question, that pause, can change everything. Because you are not your notifications. You are not your inbox. You are not the number of people watching your story or reacting to your post. You are a living, breathing miracle, and your first moments belong to you. When you touch your phone before your soul, you are giving permission for the world to hijack your mind. And when your mind is hijacked, your peace becomes a prisoner. So stop. Stop letting your phone steal your focus, your energy, your intention. Stop letting pixels decide your mood. Stop giving the best part of your day, the beginning, to something that doesn't love you back. Because your phone doesn't care if you succeed. Your phone doesn't care if you feel whole. Your phone doesn't care about your dreams, health. You cannot love yourself when every morning starts with comparison. You must choose yourself first, every single day. Choosing yourself doesn't mean ignoring the world. It means preparing yourself to face it with strength and intention. It means saying, before I give my energy to others, I will first fill my own cup. That's not selfish, that's sacred. If you give your energy before you ground it, you'll end up drained, distracted, and disconnected from your purpose. But if you start your morning by connecting with your breath, your thoughts, your goals, you build a shield of focus that no notification can penetrate. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you woke up, stepped outside, and looked at the sunrise without a phone in your hand? When was the last time you felt the morning air on your skin and said, "I'm grateful to be alive"? When was the last time your first thought was "thank you" instead of "what did I miss while I was asleep"? Somewhere along the way, we forgot that life happens in the real world, not behind glass. We forgot that connection starts within, not online. We forgot that peace is not found in pixels, but in presence. And presence begins the moment you decide to be here now. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, resist the pull, resist the reflex. Your phone will call you. The glow, the vibration, the ping. It's all designed to grab your attention before you've even found your footing. But you are stronger than that. You are the master of your attention, not its victim. You are the architect of your focus, not its prisoner. You are not here to react. You are here to create. Every great day begins with ownership. Ownership of your time. Ownership of your focus. Ownership of your energy. And the first act of ownership begins in those precious few moments after you wake up. When you wake up and say, "No, I will not give my attention away. Not yet." When you sit with yourself and say, "This is my moment, my silence, my breath." When you take the first 10 minutes to move, to meditate, to reflect, to write, to breathe, you reclaim your power. That's what choosing yourself looks like. Choosing yourself means remembering that your attention is sacred. It is the currency of your life. Whatever you give attention to grows. If you give it to chaos, you'll feel chaos. If you give it to peace, you'll feel peace. If you give it to your purpose, you'll feel alive. So stop giving your mornings to noise. Stop waking up to a battlefield of comparison and expectation. Your phone will always be there. The world will always be waiting. But your peace, that only exists in the present moment. You owe it to yourself to meet that moment first. Imagine this. You wake up, sunlight hits your face, your first thought is gratitude. You stretch, breathe, smile, and feel alive. You stand up, look in the mirror, and say, "I choose me today." You move with intention, not impulse. You walk with purpose, not panic. You feel grounded before the day even begins. And then, only then, do you pick up your phone. Now you're in control. Now you decide how you'll use it, not the other way around. Now your phone becomes a tool, not a master. Because the truth is, discipline is not about punishment. It's about freedom. Freedom from being controlled by every little ping, buzz, and alert. Freedom from waking up and immediately surrendering your mental space. When you choose yourself first, you take back your freedom. When you choose silence first, you build clarity. When you choose gratitude first, you build peace. So tomorrow morning, before the scrolling, before the noise, before the rush, stop, breathe, smile, and whisper to yourself, "Today I choose me." Not my phone, not the world's chaos, not yesterday's drama, me. Because the world doesn't need another person lost in distraction. The world needs a person awake, fully alive, intentional, aware. And that begins with the simple, powerful act of not touching your phone when you wake up. You don't need to reply to messages before sunrise. You don't need to know what's trending. You don't need to check who liked your post. What you need is peace. What you need is clarity. What you need is yourself. The most powerful version of you isn't buried in your phone. It's waiting in your silence. It's found in your breath. It's built through consistency, through small acts of self-respect, through the discipline of choosing yourself first. And that choice, that daily decision, will transform everything. Because when you stop letting the world invade your mornings, you start leading your life instead of reacting to it. You become centered. You become intentional. You become unstoppable. So tomorrow morning, don't grab your phone. Grab your life. Grab your purpose. Grab your peace. Because the first thing you reach for each morning should be you.